Here are my lab results for my blood. This is the latest one with Jonathan Wilson Wong. This is the guy that had forced me out June 30th. So this is the electrolyte panel. This is after they have given me a bunch of bags, right? This was not my blood. This is them after taking a snapshot of topping everything up. And they're saying, oh, look, you're stable. You can go home now. But what ends up happening is that they're basically pumping my blood up. It's like steroids. You pump your body up. And look, this one's still off. Look at all this. They're all high. So this is closer to what my blood is actually like. But they still gave me a couple of bags, right? It's all over the place. Hemocroft is way too low. The other ones are way too high. Oh yeah, it's Melissa Pyrich. So here's, oops. You can see it switches, right? On the 30th, Jonathan takes over in the morning and is really aggressive with me. It's like he's trying to get rid of me. But before that, in the nighttime, this woman here, Melissa Pyrich, who did write me a letter for the courts and all that, you can see that my pH is way up there, way up there. Everything is high, right? A lot of it is high. But a lot of this is also after they've been giving me intravenous, right? So that's why it's looking like decent. But when I'm at home, all these things are low. So this is when I'm in the hospital. This is after she's been giving me interventions already. You can see that there's still abnormalities. So this is the big one. This is the refeeding syndrome one. So this is what they're realizing is going down. That used to be perfectly fine. That used to be pumped up, just like at the very first that we saw there. Why is it going low again? It's because none of these numbers are real. As soon as they take me off the bags, my body burns them and everything ends up low. So that's why it's fake. It's like they pump me up and they throw me out when none of the stuff is going to stay. And I don't even know why lipase is so high. They told me to ask about it, and I didn't even get the chance because he just left. It was very rude. And you can see here, look at this. They're all low, except for these ones. But it's like borderline because she's doing interventions already. I'm not too sure what this is. Oh, I didn't see this. I don't know how to read these, but if you're a doctor, you can see they're making major investments in trying to keep my, oops, what's going on here? Trying to keep my body together. So the main one, phosphate, is what gets tagged onto cells. Now here's the Dhaliwal. This guy is from Grey Nuns, and I let him do an X-ray on me because he pressured me, but I don't like X-rays at all. I said I want an MRI. Oh, we can't have that. Okay, we're gonna do a poor man's scan then. I've done 5 of them. Look at my pH is way up there. Everything is all high, except for these ones. This is after he's done interventions already. But even with these interventions, right, my hemoglobin, my actual blood parts have not recovered. It takes time, unless you give a blood transfusion. So those numbers there are more representative of where my blood really is. That the stores, like these are all pumped up, like steroids, like I said. But there's my reserves are depleted. They're building, but why wouldn't they just let me stay there and just get them normal? See, these numbers are lower. This is getting further and further in the past, right? Lipase, this is my liver. Why is that so high? When they were forcing me to take these antipsychotic drugs, they were turning my face green because they said my lipase was so high from the forced injections, and that they were going to have to stop the injections anyway if it was continuing to make me green. And so you can see hemoglobins are all low. Platelets, these things are borderline. And this is after like 3 interventions already. So that's notice that they didn't even test at the Grey Nuns, they didn't even test for phosphorus. They had this phosphate, but they were both abnormal. Okay. There's nothing in here. He didn't even test for refeeding syndrome anywhere. And AI pointed that out. It's like, yeah, you had like, results for that very important thing, except for at the Grey Nuns Hospital. So then this guy does it. He does creatinine, and it's like low, but within acceptable. He does a phosphate within acceptable. Kareem. So this is after they have me on the bag, right? So this is getting older and older in information. We're on June 26th. 1 day in the hospital now. So you can see they're trying to shoot to get my numbers up. They shot my B12 way up. Magnesium. Now here's my phosphate. This is the refeeding, way low already. Calcium is low. Like these are getting closer to my real numbers, right? These are after, I guess, they only have 2 of the numbers pumped up. These are all, look at this, all over the place, right? This is what my body actually is stored at. So these are more representative of how messed up it was before they put those bags. And they pounded those bags into me and bruised my arms and my veins. See, magnesium is low here when it was high there. There, they tested for phosphate. Low. Right? These are very strong signals of refeeding syndrome. So this is all after they were giving me bags, right? This is on the 26th. So they're trying desperately to get me back into balance. And now you have all the results and the progression. And that I was eating too for the first couple of days. So even when I was eating real food, a lot of those numbers didn't rebalance. But these are all snapshots. When I went home for the 1 day, that's when they all started to drop and it went back. Magnesium is barely on the edge. For some reason, my B12 is high. It's probably because I ate a lot of it. They said I was anemic. So it would have been better to maybe start here and then go forward, but we started from the top and worked our way backwards. So this is the first day. You can see it says June 25th, 2026. This is when we first got in there. And they first started putting me on the bags. Oh, now that's an old result. That's November 2025. So we could go through some of these, but might as well. So this is from a different time. Gives you something to compare to. This could have been another hunger strike. A much, much shorter one. And I think a lot of these should be better, but they're like low, all of them as well. Magnesium is low. They say my body might be adapting to that. It's getting better at storing these fat reserves because they were amazed that I was still alive. And I was just starting to experience organ failure. Okay, well, so now you got a little bit of an example. This is now way back in July 2025. So it just gives you an idea. Of what the past was like for me. So there's a lot of abnormalities, not like normal blood all the way through. And this is like within 1 day of going back. I've gone 3 days. This is the longest I've gone, 2.5 days without doing any of these blood tests. So tomorrow I'm going to go do them. Okay, so that's the whole test right up until when they kicked me out.